everybody, Cal Banyan here. Oh, we're back, Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. And it's another one of the Hunkered Down series because we are all sheltering in place, but we're not going to let this bug stop us. And don't you let this bug stop you. What we want to do is we want to keep going along, not just surviving, but thriving in the year of the bug. I just named 2020 the year of the bug. Who would have known that World War III would have been against a virus? But that's the way it is, and hypnotists are going to play a really important part in helping people cope with this. Let me see. Well, as you know, we're doing a series about doing sessions online, and today what we're going to do is the benefit to clients of doing hypnosis sessions online. There's just a huge number of benefits for clients of doing sessions online. Before I get rolling into that, let me introduce to you my co-host for this series, Penny Chiasson. And let's see here. I've got notes because it's been a while since I did a podcast with her. Penny is a 5-pather, which means she's certified to do 5-path sessions. She's certified professional hypnosis instructor, or what we call CFI. She is able to teach the same courses that I teach, the 10-day certification course, the 7-day week of power, and the new upcoming 25/7. We'll let you in on that maybe this episode. Let's see, she's a nurse anesthetist, and having worked in the medical profession for 25 years, she's presented at the National Guild of Hypnotists Convention. She has her own pain management course using hypnosis. I'm very happy to have her on the 5-path team, the 5-path community, and as a co-host. How you doing, Penny?
I'm doing great today, Cal. And I want to say I'm grateful to be here, and I want to take this opportunity to introduce you, especially to people who may not have joined in on the podcast before. You have been a hypnotist for many years now. You trained with a lot of great names in the business, and you took all of your experience and knowledge and developed the 5-path system, which is the systematic approach that we use, and created a way that we can consistently get great results with our clients. But what I really want to emphasize for everyone today is that you have been a pioneer in your own right in the field of hypnosis, and that you have taken the steps to create standards or develop standards for ethical practice and safe practice of doing sessions online. And you've worked with Dr. Reverend C. Scott Giles, and the NGH has now adopted those standards, and you're pushing forward into getting guidelines rolled out for online hypnosis certification, which is very important because we don't want it to turn into the wild, wild west out there. We want to uphold the standards of the hypnosis profession so that people continue to see us as professionals. So, Cal Banyan, everyone.
Yay, thank you, Penny. Hey, you know, it started off last year at the NGH convention. I'm on what's called the Blue Ribbon Committee, which is kind of an advisory board of some of the people who've been around for a long time and helping the NGH to continue to develop the profession. And the conversation come up because, you know, it's like one person goes, do you know that hypnotists are doing sessions online? What do you think about that? Another guy goes, I don't know about that. That sounds pretty bizarre to me. And so the rumbling started, and I spoke up and I said, ladies and gentlemen, like it or not, hypnotists have been doing sessions online for a while now, and they're going to keep on doing it. It's going to become the norm. And I recommend that the National Guild of Hypnotists take the lead on that and put together some standards of practice, just like the NGH did for hypnosis in general. And with my passion, and they said, okay, good, you're in charge. And they put me in charge of it along with Dr. Reverend Scott Giles. And so I wrote up, what I did is I actually created a course, because what I wanted to have happen was a certification course so that people could spend a day or so really looking at what they needed to do it right, ethically, to do it with efficacy, to do it competently, to do it safely. So I put together a course and started educating 5-path certified hypnotists to do it. And I'd run about 3 or 4 of those classes. and report how it was going with the National of Hypnotists. And they says, well, why don't you wrap that up for us and kind of the standards of practice. And then Dr. Reverend Scott Giles and I worked on converting that over to standards of practice, because I'm very 5-path oriented, which is a systematic approach to doing hypnosis. Dr. Reverend Scott Giles is more general population of hypnosis thinking. And he does some things that I don't do, and I do some things he doesn't do. So together we were able to put together some good standards of practice. And they're in the download session of the National Guild of Hypnotists website, ngh.net. And now the same thing I got put in charge of, I made the same passionate case, and I've been doing it for years, to do hypnosis certification training online. And I'm the first one they ever let do hypnosis certification online. And now they've opened it up to all of their trainers and our trainers to do hypnosis sessions online. So the standards needed to be developed for that again, and procedures and protocols. And so once again, I wrote that up. Then I got Dr. Scott Giles on the team, because he's worked with putting these standards together before, and he knows exactly, you know, the best format and how to make it more general instead of 5-path oriented. And so that is now in the hands of the National Guild of Hypnotists. I just got an email from them today. They've received it, and they're going to be now going through the process of getting that done also. So with that in mind, we're doing this series about you can do hypnosis sessions online. That's what I want you to get out of this. Hypnotists can do hypnosis sessions online. You know, there's only one thing you can't do with the client online that you can do in person, and that is shake their hand, tap their head, lift their hand and drop it, and all that kind of stuff. You can't touch them. And really, 99% of what we do as hypnotists is talk, 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 talk. And you notice how well we can do that online. Isn't that right, Penny?
That's right. And I can talk, talk, talk too. So, but I think it's great that you put this all together, because when I started doing sessions online, I had to figure these things out as I went along and adapt what I was doing. And you have condensed this down into a great process. And it's really a no-brainer to just connect with somebody who's figured out all the things for you.
Awesome. Now, I was just thinking that as you're talking, when I put out the notice for this, I've got to doggone figure out how I'm going to put a nice image up there, because I always have a nice image of the podcast. So I just tried to do a screenshot. I was so afraid that I was going to mess up the computer as I did shift screenshot, because it would be just the way it would. I love technology when it works, but when it crashes, it's like, ah, right? Everyone knows that. So, all right, I've got my list, and this is taken directly from the certification course for doing online sessions. And it's a long list, so I'm going to read off 2 or 3, and then we'll just chat about them for a minute, and then the next 2 or 3, and the next 2 or 3. So if we get through these, getting you the most information. Now, why am I doing this? Because you need to get it out to your clients that you can do hypnosis sessions online, right? And you know what? They don't care about the benefits to you. They care about the benefits to them. And so this list that I'm going to be going through, you know, replay the video, write down the ones that are important, put them on your written literature, put them in your podcast, put them on your websites. Say, hey, I am a person, I'm a hypnotist, and you can do hypnosis sessions online, and here's some of the benefits to you for doing hypnosis sessions online. So here we go. Anything before I get started on this roll, Penny?
No, I am ready. It is all about the client.
All right, good. Here we go. Greater confidentiality, because clients will not be seen going into your office. You can't imagine how many people don't go because they're afraid they'll be seen walking into the hypnotist's office. Number 2, greater convenience for your clients because they don't have to travel. Number 3, saves time of not having to travel to appointments. You don't know how many clients are not coming to your office because they don't want to fight the traffic. What do you think about that stuff, Penny?
I think that's exactly right, especially people, I mean, we're all hunkered down right now, as you said, right? But when people have children, they have jobs, and they have other appointments they have to keep. It really shaves down the amount of time that they're having to commit to getting this change that they're looking for. So I think that's a huge benefit.
You know, one thing that's amazing about human beings is we're able to find the good in it. You know, the other side of the coin, the silver lining. And I'll tell you what, there's just almost nothing good about this doggone pandemic that's going on, except maybe, you know, we're learning to rely on each other more and maybe look at what's most important in our lives. But also, it's going to cause our clients to go online and begin utilizing online sessions when before maybe they wouldn't have been comfortable. So it'll help kind of nudge everybody into that. And also hypnotists. Let me continue with my list. Sessions may be more accessible because there may be no hypnotist in their area. Let me say a little something. This list was put together way before, and the class was put together way before the pandemic came. And so these will be true after the pandemic has come and gone. And so there are clients that want hypnosis sessions, but guess what? They're in a small town in North Dakota or something like that, and there's no hypnotist there for them. And so this makes it accessible to them. Feel more able to self-disclose. All right. At a distance. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, so give me a minute, Penny, and then I'll let you dig in. So, like I said, I've been online since 1984. I'm kind of a hypno geek, you know, underneath it all, and so I've always kind of been into computers since about 1983. And when I was going to college for psychology, I was seriously considering getting a dual major, computer science and psychology. Then I ran into crazy stuff like calculus 1, 2, and 3. And I figured out, you know what, you better focus on psychology. But in the meantime, I kept taking computer science courses, very interested in that stuff. And because I was taking those courses, I was online, like in 1984 and 1985 because of my computer science classes. And I learned about things called bulletin board networks and systems. And so I eventually became the systems operator for the North Dakota Psychology Department bulletin board system, which was not nearly as good as what we have now. It was just ASCII codes. The menus would take like a minute and a half to type out because it would be one character at a time, a 300 baud modem or something. But I put the system together, started running the system, and it was amazing because back in 1984, you didn't really do a lot of long distance calling and things like that. People were still writing letters. People would be posting messages to the psychology board from all over the world, creating relationships, sharing their lives. And I noticed that now, as a budding psychologist at the time, I realized that, of course, you know, your clients have to share confidential, secret, personal information. And here online, I'm watching people get to that kind of stuff much faster than a normal face-to-face, not hypnotherapy, but psychology therapeutic session. I brought this to one of the professors there, and you know what professors do? They publish or they perish, right? And so he says, let's do some research on that. And we set up a research design where the people in the study were assigned to one of two conditions. One is sitting in front of somebody like this with a clipboard asking a number of questions. It started off very general and it starts getting pretty personal and private. And they could say, I prefer not to answer at any time, right? And then there's also someone, the other condition is there's two computers, old-fashioned Apple IICs, I think they were called, in different rooms. And the person who's being the subject of the research would sit there and the question would come on the computer and then they could type it in. And they're not face-to-face with somebody with a clipboard like this. And what happened, we found out there was really a significant difference between how much somebody was willing to self-disclose about personal information when they were doing it at a distance like that over a computer. And I wound up being, I think, the very first person in the world, this is about 1989, to do research into facilitating communication by way of separation, by way of computers. And so that's pretty exciting. And so it's so funny that when I first heard about doing hypnosis sessions online, I went, no way. I don't like that idea at all. I like tapping them on the head, looking their hand, rocking on it, and stuff because of my previous training and bias. But guess what? There's a real case to be made that with regard to getting people to self-disclose, online sessions might be better than in face. So there's a lot of things that are a benefit to the client that they can start getting a faster, more high quality service because of their ability to self-disclose. What do you think about that, Penny?
I actually think that's true, that people are more willing to open up to you. And, with Zoom, you record your sessions, show on the screen that you're recording. And I just want to emphasize that's never been a detractor in my sessions. As long as you get that rapport, they will open up and they will talk to you. And I feel like I do get more information online, most definitely.
Perfect. All right. So now the session, our podcast is getting a little bit long. So I'm going to run through these a little bit faster and maybe 4 or 5 of them at a time. Here we go. Client may feel more able, I already just did that one, I forgot to cross it off, may feel more able to self-disclose. Oh, not because of distance, but because of being in a familiar home environment. Weather is not a factor unless it affects internet connection. You would not believe, like if you live up north, Minnesota, North Dakota, that kind of stuff, Alaska, or Denmark, Sweden, then sometimes sessions get canceled because of inclement weather. And that doesn't happen so much when you're online. Some clients cannot leave their homes, and online hypnosis enables them to have sessions. It reminds me, I did an agoraphobic client long time ago, and guess what? I didn't do online sessions because this was like, I don't know, 18 years ago, and I had to actually go to their home to do the hypnosis to get them out of their house. One last and we'll chat. Some clients are so introverted or shy that they will not have sessions if they have to look a hypnotist, another individual, face-to-face in the same room. Penny, any input on that?
Yeah, before I went exclusively to online, I actually had an experiences with clients that when they're face-to-face with you, they tend to have a greater degree of fear of being judged by you. So that's big. And I used to live in Connecticut, so I completely understand the inclement weather piece. So it's really a win-win to do online sessions.
Next podcast, we're going to talk about benefits to the hypnotist, to you, because you know what? You can do hypnosis sessions online. All right, here we go. Clients may be fearful of being alone in a room, especially with someone of the opposite gender. Boom. May be able to have sessions only because transportation issues is not a problem. There's some people who don't have a vehicle or they're unwilling to drive. I've done sessions with people who that was the whole thing, was I'm afraid to drive. And they had to Uber or they had to Lyft or they had to have a friend take them everywhere they went. One more thing. May be better able to schedule sessions with a busy hypnotist when they don't have the factor of travel time. Because they could pop in just for an hour for a session, but if they travel, now it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of time. Good. Anything you want to add to that, Penny?
Yeah, sometimes people don't want their spouse to know that they're doing sessions. So they'll want to schedule them during the day. And it's easier for them because, when somebody comes and say, oh, what did you do today? Oh, nothing, I did some stuff online. Whereas if they took the car and they went out and they ended up buying an extra tank of gas, it's like, oh, where did you go today? And then they find themselves having to fill that gap with something that puts them in an uncomfortable position. So I think that's an added benefit as well.
That's right. A whole lot of people disable themselves from having hypnosis sessions because of a factor just like that. Good. Here we go. Clients can have hypnosis sessions when traveling, like on a business trip. Some of the people I work with, they're people who are quite capable and they don't want to be able to start doing something. They already do it well. Now they want to do it with excellence. For example, maybe they are a salesperson and they want to lift their game. or they're a golfer and they want to lift their game. I've worked with people who are trying to get into the Olympics. I've worked with NFL football player. These people could be traveling as part of their work or education, and this enables me to continue to work with them. Want to say anything about that, Penny? It's a big deal.
Yeah, especially if you work with people who travel or speak, you may be have even done work with them, and then all of a sudden they find themselves in a situation where those feelings are bubbling back up, and they want a session when they're out wherever, and you can help them to take care of that in the moment when they need it because of remote sessions.
Very good point. In fact, I think that's one of the first reasons I started doing sessions online, is it was kind of like these, uh-oh, so-and-so's on the road, or so-and-so's doing something, and they need kind of a, not emergence, urgent, let's put it that way, need a hypnosis session urgently, and they can't possibly come in. All right, so speaking of traveling, some people, they're far away, and as you're doing online sessions, your reach is going to be much larger, bigger range. For example, you help somebody in your hometown. Now their mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, friend learns about that, but they're in Cucamonga, California, and you're not. And so in the past, those clients have always had to drive or get on a plane and come see me. And that costs a lot of time, money, and effort. So being able to see clients like that online is a tremendous benefit to them. Let me move on to the next one. Clients may be more, this is interesting, clients may be more hypnotizable and go deeper because they're feeling safe because of the home environment or because of distance from the hypnotist. So online hypnosis sessions as a deepening technique. What do you think about that, Penny?
I think that's absolutely true. I really do. I find that my clients more quickly will go deeper unless they have some underlying reason that, I don't want to say that they would be resistant, but that you have to adapt techniques for someone who's really nervous. I find it easier.
Oh, yeah. I thought hypnosis sessions online would be harder, but if you're willing to be familiar with the technology, then I don't tell anybody I said this. I like doing hypnosis sessions online more than in person for a whole bunch of reasons that I'll get into next time, the benefits to the hypnotist. All right, I'm going to run through these last 4 things and we can wrap up because I don't want these videos to go on forever. Number 16, you can adjust the room temperature according, the client can adjust the room temperature according to what she wants rather than what the hypnotist wants. And that's a factor for some people because they're very sensitive to temperature. Some people, they're just shivering at a temperature that's fine with me, and that can be distracting. Clients less likely to react to smells or chemicals that they may have reacted to in the hypnotist's office. Some people are very sensitive to cleaners, to perfumes, colognes, all that kind of stuff. And they're home, they're just fine. 18, the practice of hypnosis by non-licensed professionals may be illegal in the client's state, so access is limited, but she can access services from an out-of-state hypnosis professional. Now, once again, I am not a lawyer. I'm not giving you legal advice. But I am just a person that's speaking from experience and my best understanding. If you have any questions about this, contact your certifying agency or organization. All right, having said that, you are governed by the state you live in. It is the state where you reside, the state where you're providing the services from that regulates you. For example, Washington State requires that hypnotists providing services in Washington State be registered hypnotherapists. Good. They can't regulate me in Texas. Okay. So I could work with someone in that state because they can't tell me I got to be a certified hypnotherapist. So it's I am free to work with people in other states, other countries. And this is big because some places there are no people to provide the services, or the services some places can only be provided by licensed medical or mental health professionals, which means, guess what? Most medical people and most licensed mental health professionals don't have the time to do a really good hypnosis session. They're just too pressed to get on to the next patient or client. Okay, and then this, I just, Karen West Nielsen in the class yesterday brought this up, and she's one of our co-hosts, and she says, I kind of reworded it, experiencing the transformation in home may be better because it enables the client to continue to experience the positive effect of the session in the environment where they live and or work. So in psychology, it's called state learning. For example, if I gave you a class on something in a classroom and then gave you the exam in that classroom, it would be better than if I gave you your results on the test on average would be better than if I taught you in the classroom and then had you take the test in the library. State learning, the things that you are learning tend to be associated with where you're at. So if the person experiences a hypnosis session that changes their lives, how they think, how they feel, in their home, they open their eyes feeling that way and thinking that way in their home. It's not like they drive home and now they're in this new environment and they got to somehow transfer it over the new environment. That's a lot of stuff, isn't it, Penny?
It is, but I agree with that observation totally.
All right. So anything else you want to add that I didn't have on that list for benefits to the client?
Oh my goodness. They get to choose who they want to work with. So distance, the ability to travel, doesn't limit their choices. So it can expand your referral base.
You know, and for the benefit of the client, I think you're right on that. You know, if there's no such thing as online sessions, their matter of choice may be 0 to few. But when the more hypnotists, and by the way, did I mention, you can do hypnosis sessions online. Don't let the bug win, right? When hypnotists all around the United States and all around the world begin to do their hypnosis sessions online, then people all around the world have a much greater selection and choices of service providers. All right, good. You want to wrap it up?
Oh, yes. So I would love to wrap it up. So hypnosis sessions online are great for your clients. And Cal is doing the online hypnosis certification trainings on a regular basis. And I just want to say that these benefits that he covered about the clients, he goes in depth into this in the course. So it is a fully well thought out training. And if you haven't done online sessions, or if you've started and you haven't thought many layers deep into that process, I want to encourage you to check out Cal's course.
All right, thank you very much. Do you have a course coming up for the certification?
I do. I will have the 25+7. I've added a training to my calendar for July 12th through the 18th. By the time this podcast comes out, I will have the information up on my website at pennychiasson.com/certify me.
Awesome. Hey, so now we're starting to use this term 25+7. What's happening is, so our normal NGH approved Banyan hypnosis certification super course is 10 days long. And we're finding that, you know, we're trying to find a way to help keep the cost down for people during the course of time, money, effort, lodging, travel, all this stuff. And so I meticulously thought this through. And what we're doing now is 25+7. Now the 25 stands for 25 hours of self-study. The self-study is going to be reading the level 1 manual, watching videos of me teaching the first 2.5 days of the course. And I cut out everything that is just a time suck and have just the most important stuff, so you're not sitting there for 2.5 days watching videos, right? So just the most important instructional stuff, and some other audios to listen to, for examples of me saying the first induction you learn, so that you can practice it and have a good feeling for what it sounds like when you come to class. So 25 hours, you can go through it at your own rate as long as you get it done before the first day of class. Then 7 days of live class, either on site or online. So what's going to happen is you only need to take 7 days away from your home and family. And probably if you work Monday through Friday, you only have to take 1 week off of work instead of 2. And I think that's going to be tremendous, because the class will run from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you've got a day's worth of time off before the class, a day's worth of time off after the class. I think it's going to be really well accepted, and I just think it's a really smart thing to do. And so our trainers, like myself and Penny, they have a choice. They can stay with the 10-day format, or they can move over to the 25+7 format. But I think that's going to be a real big winner. All right, when is it coming up for you?
July 12th through the 18th.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right, thank you, Penny. I'm going to hang around. We'll do another video when we get done with this. All right, let me just say that because of the demand for this, I mean, we had a class for the certification for you to do hypnosis sessions online. We had one March 27th, full. We had one on April 2nd, full. We have one coming on April 9th. I don't know if this video will be out in time for you to get in on that, but it is filling up. And this is what we're decided to do, is we're going to continue. The intent is to continue doing that course about once a week, so long as the demand is high like this. And it may remain high through this entire pandemic. So you can just go to, it's not listed on the website. So if you're interested in this, email Tasha at hypnosis.org. Org, like rhymes with the Borg, okay? And so Tasha, T-A-S-H-A, at hypnosis.org. And our office is shut down right now, so the email is the best way to get a hold of us. After you enroll, you will be set up for a tech check to make sure that you know how to use Zoom and all that, so that you can hit the ground running, and we'll get you set up to do the 25 hours of pre-study, self-study before you come to class. The course is only $195. And so that, no, we took $50 off. It's $145 because the demand is so high, we were able to keep the price down to our introductory level. All right, gosh almighty, can we go on? Thank you so much, Penny, once again. And my last words are, you can do hypnosis sessions online. All right, Cal Banyan,